Good morning, guys. I want to spend some time just talking about a few things. I guess the main thing here with the end time biblical prophecy is how the Lord is going to use things in the natural realm to bring about His judgment, His retribution, His wrath upon the world. And it's funny when you start to look at things, you realize that things are not always as they seem. And at least in the United States, I'm convinced that everything about our media is totally just programmed, faked. It's really meant to just sway public opinion. There's really no real news about anything. There's no real reporting. We've seen that now with Project Veritas and most things. But for me, it's frustrating when you know something is true and basically seemingly logical, cognizant people just will not consider the idea of what the evidence shows. So let's talk about Planet X. And I'm not going to go through and give you a just a full-blown investigative diatribe on Planet X. I want to just give you where the clues are, and you go search it out because it's pretty obvious that it's real. One thing the governments like to do is they love to tell you the truth, but then not tell you the truth. So back in February, NASA released this discovery of this small little cold brown dwarf star that had 7 planets. If you type in any Google search engine, NASA 7 planets, you'll see. And they talk about how there's this star that's 40 light years away. 40 light years away is a long distance. It's extremely far away. They claim the closest sun is the other star is 4 light years away. So when they report on this, they're basically here, roughly 40 light years away. It's not 40 light years away. This thing is between the Earth and the sun right now. That's the cold hard facts. So I want to show you a video of the NASA scientists describing this system. You can go watch it yourself. So they found this system of planets. Here.
That around a very nearby cold small star, we found 7 rocky Earth-sized planets, all of which could potentially have liquid water.
The habitable zone. Look at there. They have a habitable zone, just like we have in our sun.
For me, it's mind-blowing. The first time I saw what the system had in it, I just was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I looked at the data myself, I'm like, yeah, there they all are. It's just...
So here we are, 40 light years away. They can tell little itty-bitty planets, which is just insane for me to believe. 40 light years away, they can tell this. They call it the TRAPPIST system.
I felt super excited, amazed by the existence, the very existence of the system was...
Remember, this is programming to program your brain to accept the fact that this will be our reality at some point. So what you see here is what we will see probably in a little while, for real, in our skies. They're giving you a heads up.
On these planets, you'd actually see a lot of them sort of in the sky, whipping by on these very short orbital periods.
So she just said that we would see planets in the sky whipping by at very short orbital periods. How in the hell are we going to look up in the sky and see planets whipping by with short orbital periods on a system that's 40 light years away? They're telling you what we're going to be seeing soon. See that? Did you catch that? Listen to what she said again. Because this is what's really going to happen, and it's not 40 light years away. It's up in our sky between our sun and our Earth now. Listen.
If we're standing on one of these planets, you'd actually see a lot of them sort of in the sky, whipping by on these very short orbital periods.
It is an excellent, fantastic discovery.
Okay, so the reason I bring this up is that's their way of actually telling us. So what's the deal? They claim it's a brown dwarf star which emits infrared radiation with 7 planets. Do we see this in the Bible? Yes. We know about the Revelation 12 sign, right? we know that's going to occur. That's an astronomical formation of objects in the sky. Every minister on the planet cannot bring themselves to realize that. A great sign appeared in heaven, in the expanse of the sky. A woman, Virgo, clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars. This is an astronomical sign in the sky. It's not some history of Israel, and the woman is... Anyway, the next sign is this, right here. And there appeared another sign in heaven. Great red dragon, that's the infrared brown dwarf star, with 7 heads. That's the 7 planets. And there's a bunch of moons on those planets, 10 horns. So this information right here, this verse 3, there have been a few NASA scientists who have left NASA, gone into hiding, and basically came out and said this exact thing, same thing, without even mentioning the Bible. There's a couple of them now that have done this. One guy was in this the country of Georgia, letting everybody know this. It was on one of the conspiracy Planet X websites. And basically the guy said, yeah, there's a brown dwarf star that's invading our solar system. Our sun has a sister star that's about 1/8 the size, 1/8 the size of our own sun. And that's what this is right here. So NASA's calling it this TRAPPIST. They're calling it this TRAPPIST system of planets. All right. So there's a biblical astronomer named Gil Broussard. He's cataloged the fact that this thing, he calls it Planet 7X. This thing has come by many times. He claims it comes by about every 360 years, roughly. And so if you go down, this is the timeline of when it began. You can go to his website and download this pic. But the reason we know this is real is because at the time that Jesus died on the cross, there was a 3-hour solar eclipse. And that 3-hour solar eclipse cannot happen right here, 2880. That cannot happen with a regular lunar, with the moon eclipsing the sun. It lasts like 7 minutes maximum. 3 hours. One of these planets got in front of the sun and caused darkness. I want to show another picture. See this painting right here down to the right? There's been paintings the last sets of 300 years that depict the result of this thing coming through our system. Let me show you this one. Here's a painting from 1698, Hamburg, Germany. The people that look at this, they don't know what to say. They say it's UFOs. These are some of the planets that were in the sky. Now, when this thing comes through every 360 years, roughly, it varies upon the type of damage that occurs. It depends on where the sun, our Earth, is in the solar system, referencing to where this thing is. So sometimes it comes in and does not have huge effects like it did, say, 300 years ago. We would have known about that. But if you go back another 360 years, there's another painting that they don't know. Let me find it here. Well, here's 1,000 years ago. This is a tapestry from England. This would be 3 cycles ago, around 1000 AD. They saw this huge object in the sky. This is one of the planets. They think it might have been a comet, but I think it was one of the planets. There's another timeline here. Then there's this one that was 2 cycles ago. I think I've shown this in a previous video. 2 objects in the sky. It's raining down fire and brimstone. This was what some folks think caused the Dark Ages 700 years ago. So I want to go back to the book of Revelation. So look, the bottom line is this. I would suggest that you study this on your own. And the first place to start would be Dr. Robert Harrington. He is a NASA scientist. He's a NASA scientist, a real NASA scientist, who was killed. Well, he died unexpectedly after 2 months of cancer. He was operating in the late 80s and the early 90s. He wrote a white paper on this, and he talked about how there's an object in the sky in our solar system that comes through every, he thought, a few thousand years, that changes the orbit of the planets, the outermost planets, Neptune, and I forget the other planet. And it has to be a huge mass that would be doing this. So this is a real NASA scientist that would, now of course he was told to be quiet, and he didn't. He kept investigating it. Of course he was killed. There are all sorts of astronomers that have died over the years. That have died over the years because this is not a good website here, but for investigating this whole Planet X thing. And all of them had access to an infrared telescope. See, the whole point, the reason we can't see this thing is because it emits infrared light. Let me find a picture. So here's a picture that was taken, I think, from the South Pole telescope. I don't know if you can see this or not. But here is some sort of round object with two moons. So there are hundreds, I say thousands, of pictures all over the web of this system. Now, the reason we really can't see it, I would suggest you go to this website. This guy really, I think, is the clearest of all. Go to this YouTube channel, WSO, and he just basically has the daily updates for where they see this thing. There's just all sorts of pictures and videos that people send him. Another guy to watch is Jeff P. Jeff P. He explains the science on how, literally, it sounds crazy to say this, that they have cloaking systems in space to hide these planets. So look, I'm not going to give you all the information. I'm going to just tell you guys for yourself to go search it out, because you have to figure this out for yourself. And when these planets come through here, this is what's going to cause this. The Earth mourns and withers. It languishes. It's going to reel back and forth like a drunken man. It's going to be split apart. Read Isaiah 24. This is the effects of when these planets get near to the Earth. And Gil Broussard, his thought is that when we see this thing, when we look up and when it finally makes its presence known on Earth, when it gets close enough, it's going to look like this in our sky. It's huge. And this is the reason why in Ezekiel 21, that's why this is being written by the prophet. Because of the news that it is coming, every heart will melt, all hands will be feeble, every spirit will faint, and all knees will be weak as water. Behold, it is coming, it will be fulfilled. So, with that, guys, you go ahead yourself. YouTube, Dead Scientist, Dr. Robert Harrington. Go to Jeff P's website, look at his videos. Go to WSO's YouTube channel and just look for yourself. I'm not going to sit here and go through it all. It's too much information. With that, guys, God bless you and have a good day.